Ah yes, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, if I'm being honest, I think these games might be the most overhated Pokemon games of all time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these are the best Pokemon games ever, but they aren't necessarily bad. The first reason these games aren't the worst is because of Gigantamax Pokemon. I'm not saying all of them are good. I mean, look at Sandaconda. It's kind of terrible. But there are also some super good ones. For starters, I think Gigantamax Gengar is awesome, and so is its counterpart Machamp. I also think that it is super cool that, unlike Mega Pokemon, you get to choose any Pokemon to Gigantamax, even if they don't get, like, some awesome special form. I think this not only makes it fair for the player, but it also gives us a lot of potential to see different Pokemon we love bigger. Gigantamax Pokemon are also cool for the Gigantamax raids. I like these raids due to the fact that you have to individually look for the Pokemon you want to find, so it feels rewarding when you eventually find the Pokemon you're looking for. But it's not like shiny hunting where you spend 30 hours to find nothing or the Pokemon you don't want. Gigantamax Pokemon are also cool in the way the move animations change. For example, when you use certain rock-type moves while Gigantamax, a huge rectangular stone falls on the Pokemon you attack. I think this does a super good job at giving Gigantamax Pokemon something visually appealing, making it seem way more worthwhile. Next, we have the gym leaders and gym challenges. I'm going to be honest, this game's gyms and gym challenges are pretty easy, but still challenging enough to be a little bit of fun, like making it so each gym leader's ace can Dynamax. My favorite gym challenge, though a bit basic, is the first one. While I was playing it, I had a lot of fun chasing Wooloo through the checkpoints. However, coming in close second is the second gym challenge, due to the fact that I find puzzles like that a lot of fun. My favorite gyms consist of the Ghost-type gym and the Dragon-type gym. I like Alistair and his Ghost-type gym because they have Mimikyu, one of my favorite Pokemon, and their ace is Gigantamax Gengar, which looks super funny. The Dragon-type gym is also awesome because, like the Ghost-type gym, they have Flygon, another one of my favorite Pokemon, and Gigantamax Duraludon, which, like Gengar, looks super funny. Not only does the Dragon-type gym make the Pokemon you fight super fun, but you get to fight in a double battle format, which is where you have two Pokemon at a time. I think this detail makes a gym much more enjoyable and makes a battle more advanced in both thinking and strategy. Another aspect of this game I really like is the open world. Now, I know every Pokemon game has had an open world, but this one truly stands out. I think it stands out because of the small details they added. I like how you could see the Pokemon in the grass and how weather changed randomly and decided what Pokemon could spawn. I also liked how you could only catch some Pokemon at night, which was sometimes annoying, but still a small detail that enhanced the experience of the game and made me feel more compelled to play. I also feel like seeing the Pokemon out in the open world made it feel more alive, especially because some Pokemon would chase you and some would run away. It was also nice for the purpose of shiny hunting. In older games, shiny hunting sucks because you would spend 10 hours of hunting to finally get a shiny, just that it was a random shiny you weren't chasing. However, being able to see the Pokemon you encountered didn't speed it up, but at least you got the shiny you wanted. Another thing that makes this open world fun is the Rotom Bike. The Rotom Bike is an item you get from saving a scientist from this generation's evil team, which I'll talk about later. When you get the bike, it starts as, well, just a bike. But when you encounter him later, he upgrades the bike so it can drive on water. This will allow you to reach some islands to catch Pokemon and progress in the game. On the topic of Pokemon, this game has its fair share of good Pokemon, but also its fair share of bad Pokemon. To start off with some of the bad Pokemon, we have Scovet and their evolution line Greedent. I mean, their design just aren't good, but there are worse Pokemon. Now, some of the good Pokemon are Corviknight and Toxtricity. Don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of other cool Pokemon in this gen, just these two stand out to me. Toxtricity's design is super cool, same with the concept, and Toxel looks super cute. Corviknight, just like Toxtricity, has a super badass design and a super cute evolution line. Not to mention, both of these Pokemon have pretty cool shiny. Yeah, Corviknight's shiny is a little basic, but I really like the gray on it, and the pink on shiny Toxtricity looks super cool in my opinion. Now, this has to be the hardest topic of this whole generation, and it's the evil team. Now, if I'm being honest, this evil team is just an absolute tragedy. Team Yell is just so ass. They are literally just a fan club of the 7th gym leader. Calling them an evil team might be an overstatement. I mean, why are we calling Team Yell an evil team for being obsessed with a mediocre gym leader? I mean, compared to the generations prior, this game's evil team is just not good. Now we have the Champion Cup. The Champion Cup is like this game's Elite Four, but instead you do a bracket style. I like this feature a lot because we are fighting people we fought in the beginning of the game, but with more advanced and developed teams. For the first fight, or the semifinal, we face our rival Marnie. Marnie's team is mediocre. I don't feel any particular way about any of her Pokemon, other than her Gigantamax Grimmsnarl, which I think is super cool, but just not cool enough to carry her whole team. For the second and final semifinal, we have Hop, and Hop's team would have been so much better if the DLC had been out while we fought him. I say this because Ace, whatever starter we didn't pick, which he Gigantamaxes, but before the DLC, the starters didn't have some special Gigantamax form. If he did, this team would have been much cooler, but even with the lack of special Gigantamax, his team is still super cool. I love his Corviknight and his Snorlax. Now, before we get to the finals, where we will fight 3 other gym leaders before the champion, we get interrupted by Bede. Now, I'm gonna be honest, Bede, what are we doing, man? You mean to tell me that you are going to interrupt me mid-bracket and come at me with this sorry-ass team? What are we doing? Now, for the actual finals. For the first battle of the finals, we are facing Nessa. I feel very neutral about Nessa's team. I mean, Golisopod is awesome, and I like Pelipper and Dreadnought a fair amount, but overall, they are all just Pokemon I feel very neutral about. For the second battle of the finals, we have Alistair. Now, this is the battle I've been waiting for. He has 3 Pokemon, which I absolutely love. I mean, Dusknoir, Chandelure, and Gigantamax Gengar. I just love Dusknoir. I think he might be my favorite ghost type. And Chandelure is just absolutely goated. And as I've stated before, I love Gigantamax Gengar because of how funny he looks. For the final challenge before the champion, we face Raihan. This is the only other gym challenger that might have as good of a team as Alistair. I mean, it has Goodra, the GOAT, Flygon, a Pokemon I adore, and for his ace, he has Gigantamax Duraludon, which, as I've stated above, is goated because of how funny looking they are. We now have the final boss, aka the champion. I'm just gonna say this, I love Leon. I think he might be my favorite champion of all time. Leon's team also depends on the starter you choose, but the DLC doesn't affect it like it does Hop's team because he doesn't Gigantamax it. Instead, he Gigantamaxes something way better than the starters, and that's his Charizard. Gigantamax Charizard is so cool. I mean, look at this design. It's just so peak. And the rest of his team is awesome too. I love his Aegislash, and it is a Pokemon I wouldn't expect him to have. And Haxorus is just a dope dragon type. Now that we are at the end of the game, we can catch the legendaries. I'm not gonna lie, the lore behind the legendary duo kind of sucks, but their designs are cool. However, Eternus's lore is very cool. I love the concept of the Darkest Day and all the Pokemon going berserk and Gigantamaxing. If I'm being honest, I probably only like the legendary duo so much because I love dogs, but Eternus is awesome too. I mean, he's weird looking, but it's like the cool weird. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you understand. Even though the lore of the legendary dog sucks story-wise, playing through it was pretty fun. I mean, being able to meet the legendary at the beginning of the game is pretty cool, and the Eternus fight was a lot of fun. I also like how the legendary dogs have 2 different forms. Their base forms when they aren't holding their artifact, and their normal forms where they are holding their artifacts. Altogether, I think getting these legendaries were super fun and getting to look super cool. So, my final verdict on Pokemon Sword and Shield is that it is, in fact, worth playing for the Gigantamax Pokemon and for the small details the devs added to make this game a lot of fun to play. And it is a very good first Pokemon game for anybody looking to get into Pokemon games. I would definitely play these games again and have a lot of fun doing so.